Right now, somewhere in your city, there is a person earning $60,000 a year who cannot tell you where 40 of it went. They are not reckless. They are not irresponsible. They work hard, they pay their bills, and every 2 weeks when the paycheck lands, they genuinely intend to do something different this time. And every 2 weeks, without a single dramatic moment, the money disappears anyway. If that feels uncomfortably familiar, what I'm about to show you is not a budgeting tip. It is the exact structural reason the cycle keeps running, and the 5 moves that break it permanently, usually within the first month of using them. My name is Weston, and I think about why smart, hardworking people stay broke longer than they should, more than any healthy person probably should. Hit that like button because what comes next is the thing nobody shows you when they talk about breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Now, to understand why this cycle is so hard to break, I need to introduce you to two people. We will call them Jordan and Keisha, both 28 years old, both earning $3,400 a month after taxes. Same job title, same company, same pay date. Jordan has been living paycheck to paycheck for 4 straight years, despite 2 raises. Keisha broke the cycle completely in under 60 days without a raise, a side hustle, or cutting out a single thing she genuinely valued. And the difference between them has nothing to do with discipline, willpower, or how much either of them cares about their financial future. It has everything to do with what happens in the 10 minutes after the paycheck lands. Here is the open loop I want you to hold on to, because I am going to close it in about 4 minutes. And when I do, it is going to reframe everything you thought you knew about why you are stuck. The paycheck to paycheck cycle is not an income problem. It is not a spending problem. It is a sequencing problem. And the sequence is something almost nobody ever gets taught. Move 1 is what Keisha calls the buffer. And this is the move that stops the cycle from restarting before it even begins. The moment her paycheck lands, before she checks her balance, before she buys anything, she opens her calendar and writes down every fixed bill due before her next paycheck. Rent, car payment, electric bill, phone. She adds them up and sets that exact amount aside as already spent, as gone, as money that was never hers to touch. This takes her under 2 minutes. Jordan skips this entirely, assuming the money will simply be there when the bills arrive. Now watch what that assumption actually costs him. 2 weeks after his paycheck lands, his rent and his car payment hit on the same day. He is $60 short. He puts it on his credit card. That $60 is now a debt, charging him 24% interest, created entirely by a step that takes less time than making a cup of coffee. But here is what I need you to understand about the buffer. It does not move Keisha forward. It simply stops her from sliding backward. What actually starts building her out of the cycle is move 2, and this is where the sequencing that nobody teaches you begins to reveal itself. Move 2 is the transfer, and this is the single most counterintuitive thing about breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. The moment Keisha's paycheck lands, before she pays a single bill, before she buys a single thing, 10% of it leaves her checking account automatically. $340 gone before her brain ever registers it as available. Not after the bills, not after the groceries. First, before anything. A book called The Richest Man in Babylon made this exact argument almost 100 years ago. A tenth of everything you earn belongs to you before anyone else gets a claim on it. Jordan has the same intention. He tells himself he will save whatever is left at the end of the month. In 4 years, there has never been anything left. Not because Jordan spends too much, because money sitting in a checking account does not feel like savings. It feels like options. And options always find somewhere to go. Now watch what happens when moves 1 and 2 run together for the first time. Keisha in month 1 sets aside her fixed bills, automates her transfer, and for the first time in years, her account does not hit 03 days before payday. That single experience, 1 month of not panicking, changes how the next month feels. And the month after that. This is how the cycle actually breaks. Not dramatically, not through a sudden windfall or a lifestyle overhaul, through one quiet structural shift that compounds month after month after month. Move 3 is the debt swipe, and this is the number that should genuinely change how you think about every dollar sitting on a credit card balance right now. Every single payday, Keisha sends one intentional extra payment toward her highest interest debt. For her, That is $50 against a credit card charging 24%. $50 sounds almost pointless. But here is what 24% interest actually means in plain language. Every dollar sitting on that balance is costing her nearly a quarter of itself every single year. Paying it down is not just responsible. It is the highest guaranteed return available to either of them. Better than almost any investment they will ever make in their entire lives, because eliminating a 24% debt is mathematically identical to earning a 24% return. Jordan makes minimum payments only, which means the bank, not Jordan, decides how long he stays in debt. And the bank's answer is always the same: as long as possible. If this is the first time you have seen debt repayment framed as an investment return rather than a bill payment, drop a comment below right now, because Move 4 is the one that makes this entire system actually feel like a life you want to live instead of a restriction you are white-knuckling through. Move 4 is the splurge cap, and this is where almost every budgeting system gets it completely wrong. Every plan that says no to everything eventually gets abandoned. Every person who has ever tried to cut spending to zero has snapped and spent 3 times what they would have spent if they had just allowed themselves something from the start. Keisha takes a fixed $150 every payday and moves it to a completely separate account with exactly one rule: spend it on whatever she wants with zero guilt, zero tracking, zero justification. It was accounted for before she touched it. Jordan spends freely too. The difference is his spending has no ceiling. It is simply whatever happens to be left after the bills, which on a good week is more than he realizes, and on a bad week is somehow also more than he realizes, until suddenly it is nothing. Move 5 is the zero out, and it is the smallest move on this list with the most underrated long-term payoff. At the end of every pay cycle, whatever loose dollars are sitting in Keisha's checking account, $7, $14, $22, she sweeps them into her savings automatically. The amount is almost irrelevant. What matters is that she has trained herself to treat every single dollar as a decision rather than background noise. And that habit, built quietly over months, compounds into something that no individual transfer she will ever make can match. Now let me close the loop I opened at the start, because this is the part that reframes everything. I told you the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is a sequencing problem, not a spending problem. Here is exactly what I meant. Jordan's sequence is spend first, pay bills second, save whatever is left. That sequence guarantees that saving never happens, not because Jordan is irresponsible, but because the sequence itself mathematically ensures there is never anything left. Keisha's sequence is protect the bills first, invest second, attack the debt third, enjoy guilt-free fourth, sweep the rest fifth. Same income, different sequence, completely different destination. Here is what 4 months of Keisha's sequence actually produced. Month 1, she stopped running out of money before payday for the first time in 3 years. Month 2, her credit card balance moved for the first time since she opened the account. Month 3, she had a small but real emergency fund. Month 4, she stopped feeling like money was something that happened to her and started feeling like something she was actually directing. Jordan is still in the same cycle he has been in for 4 years. Not because he is undisciplined, not because he does not care, because he never changed the sequence of the 10 minutes after his paycheck landed. Here is what this entire video comes down to. The paycheck-to-paycheck cycle does not break because you suddenly earn more or spend less. It breaks because the structure of what happens immediately after your paycheck lands finally changes. Jordan's default is spend first, save what is left. Keisha's structure is protect first, invest second, eliminate debt third, enjoy guilt-free fourth, sweep the rest fifth. That structure runs automatically whether she feels motivated or not, whether she has a good month or a hard one, whether she remembers to or not, because she built a system that does not require her to make the right decision every month. She made the right decision once and let the system run. Now that you know the 5 moves that break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, the next question is how big your emergency fund actually needs to be before the cycle can never drag you back down, because that number is different for every household and most people get it completely wrong, either building too little and staying vulnerable or building too much and leaving money